Earlier this year, 3 of the 12 officer positions at the Williston Police Department were vacant. The City Council approved a raise to help with recruiting. And I spoke to an expert who tells me many small towns face similar issues in finding and keeping officers. You dial 911 and officers are on their way. But you may not think about what it takes to get that officer on the road.
It takes 5 officers to have 1 on duty.
And for 12-man departments like Williston,
that includes the chief and the captain, so the deputy chief. So you might not even have 2 officers available at any one time.
Fred Shankman is a professor emeritus in criminology at the University of Florida. Williston had 3 empty officer positions in late January.
We had officers that were in harm's way with no backup.
At $30,000, Williston was second to last on a list of officers' starting pay for agencies in the area.
We lost officers to the Levy County Sheriff's Department. We lost them to the city of Gainesville. We weren't matching a pay that could keep our officers there. I mean, they have to live too.
They are also the pool that are also recruiting people. So we have to compete against them at, say, $40,000 for a new hire at Gainesville. We can't afford that.
Williston raised their pay by $2,000 across the board and had already filled 2 of those empty positions within a few weeks. But it isn't just salary that makes recruiting difficult at small departments. Lack of promotional opportunities is also an issue. In a 12-man department, for example, you likely have 8 officers, 2 sergeants, 1 lieutenant, and the chief. With so few leadership positions, there's rarely room to move up. Shankman has seen this firsthand.
I helped design the lieutenant's exam for UFPD some years back, and they'd had 12 people. No one had been promoted in the last 10 years. So you have all these people waiting to be promoted, and there was 1 position. And I thought, I went to the chief, I said, my goodness, chief, 11 people, after waiting all that time, are going to be told no.
Instead of promotions, officers at small departments often do it all.
We already wear multiple hats because we're an 11-man or 12-man police department, so we have to work shifts, we have to work investigations, we have to do a lot of things that typically other departments don't.
Lack of promotion isn't an issue at larger departments like Gainesville, which has more than 300 officers.
There's plenty of room for people to move up, move into different areas. We have different specialty units that people can join. So here at Gainesville, you don't just have patrol officers.
At the Alachua Police Department, also a fairly small force with 29 officers, they tell me recruiting isn't an issue. They credit this partly to promotional opportunities.
There's also lateral movements that the officers like to get, like K9. Your K9 unit is considered a lateral movement, detective division, the traffic safety unit.
And also to a starting pay competitive with larger departments at more than $34,000 a year. Gainesville police officers start at about $40,000. So when someone leaves the police academy, departments like Gainesville have the advantage. Then why don't small towns resort to larger agencies like county sheriff's departments?
People don't want strangers in their community being able to be in charge if they don't understand the culture of that town.
Community policing. It's the primary reason these local departments remain so important.
We do not want to get into the situation where we have a community that is at odds with our police department. And the only way you can do that is to have quality officers and to have them active within the community.
So how can recruiting become an easier process at small departments? Shankman says people have to realize that negative headlines about police are only one side of the story. Changing the narrative about police could be the first step to making the profession more attractive.